Hello Libra, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll look at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you're a cross watcher, just know this whole reading can be reversed if that is the case for you. Again, that's totally fine and totally normal. Take what helps, leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Libra, let's jump on in and see what we've got here today. We're going to start with overall energy through oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the messages with tarot as we progress. This is for Libra's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. This is for Libra's energy toward the person they're dealing with. Triggered. Ooh, this connection has a really deep impact on you. And then there's that wild card energy. Okay. Yeah, and it makes sense as to why. I feel like there's so much that's up in the air when it comes to this connection. And I feel like especially when it comes to this person's behavior, it kind of feels like you view them as a wild card. You're not really sure what they're going to do, when they're going to pop up, when they're going to leave, what they're going to say, how they're going to act. And I feel like that leaves you honestly feeling a little bit insecure in the connection, which makes plenty of sense. You don't have to be an insecure person for somebody's inconsistencies to make you feel insecure. So it makes sense why, this would affect you the way that it does. This triggered card makes me feel that it's also poking at maybe some things below the surface too, like some previous wounds are starting to be poked at, and just things that might seem might be affecting you more than just like surface level, which might be why that triggered card came out, just like because this does have such a deep effect on you for more reasons than you might be able to see. But let's see this person's energy toward you, Libra. Dream come true. To be honest, based on your energy here, contract, it didn't feel like this is what I would have expected from them because of that inconsistent energy that you're seeing. But then they have dream come true, they have contract, they have fate. So this to them is a connection that they see a lot of potential in. I feel like it's almost like you meet what this person is really like looking for when it comes to relationships in some way here. Now this contract card, this could mean they might be caught up in something else, but I also see this as this person being on the other side of like a soul contract that you two might have, soul contracts or contracts that we sign. They're not like physical contracts, but promises that we make to other souls to say we're going to meet each other in this lifetime, and this is going to be the purpose, and this is going to be how things play out. So this is definitely and I see that with fate too, like this is definitely a very intentional connection that was placed in your life for a reason, which I feel like you kind of already knew and could sense, especially if this connection does have a tendency to affect you more than other connections have in the past. Like it makes sense why you'd be like, okay, something's up or there's something more to this. And I do definitely feel like there is, but I feel like there's a lot more to the story than that. So let's just see how things unfold here. Truth of this connection between Libra and this person. I feel like the message I keep getting drawn to is like there's more than what like is going on the surface. Like there's more to this than you might think. There's more than like just what you see. Truth of this connection between Libra and this person. Love. And you have this mirroring card. This is really giving like spiritual connection, twin flame vibes here. Mirroring love with growth. So I definitely feel, because mirroring is something that happens in any connection that we meet. You know, other people and anyone that we meet can mirror certain things about ourselves like back to us. But sometimes we run into these people or we meet these people that seem to just mirror like everything, that just really like seem to mirror the good in us, the bad in us, like the insecurities and then the hopes and dreams. And like it feels like there's just like almost like meeting yourself in another person. And it's so impactful because a lot of things get pulled directly to the surface when you meet these kinds of connections. So I feel like there is definitely a purpose to this. There's definitely a reason you and this person met. There's definitely, and I feel again, like you know all of this. But I'm still getting this, there's more to it than you might think. Like there's something missing or something that needs to be addressed. Because it definitely feels like there is love here. But it feels like it's like, but that's not the full story. I don't know. Let's just see. Overall theme of this reading, I feel like this usually helps add a little bit of depth for me so I can kind of understand. Because when I'm looking at everything as a whole, I feel like this can really help tie a lot of that together. This overall theme. Okay. Overall theme for this connection for Libra. Triggers. I mean, yeah. Underlying motives. I don't see this as this person having underlying motives. I see this as this connection having an underlying purpose. Look at it. I am their light. So you really see yourself as this person's light. I feel like there's a lot of, because I said, like, this person mirrors everything back to you, like mirrors back your light, mirrors back your darkness even too. So I feel like you really see yourself as like an important part of their journey too, which is important. But this underlying motives card, I don't know. I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to know what the heck is going on here. All right. This is for Libra's side of this connection, please. Because you and this person's energy seems really similar almost, but like different at the same time. Like, oh yeah, like yin and yang almost. Because like, look at that. Like that's kind of giving that vibe. Page of Pentacles. So there's a lot of passion, intensity, attraction here. So Ace of Wands, Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords in reverse. Oh. Queen of Swords, here you are. Nine of Pentacles, and the Ten of Swords. Oof, okay. And the Lovers in reverse here on the bottom. So, yeah, this tells a whole story. Okay, you and this person have a very, very intense attraction to one another. I feel like it was there, like, from the first time you met this person, like, just this recognition, this intensity. And I feel like that intensity that this connection has makes you feel all the things, all the good and all the bad, and almost like equally when it comes to them. And I feel like that's what this wild card card is really talking about, is you're never really sure, is this person going to make me feel all those good things that I can feel, or are they going to make me feel all these bad things that they have this potential to make me feel? And I feel like there's this kind of back and forth energy in this connection too, that it's like there's so many things here that you desire, there's so many things that you want, there's so many things that this person has that you know want in a significant other, but then at the same time there's a lot that's lacking. And I feel like the biggest thing seems to be the consistency, or like growth. Like, to me, especially with like the Page of Pentacles coupled with the Page of Swords in reverse, this kind of gives this like immature energy, or like I just heard like Peter Pan vibes. Almost like you're like this person just needs to grow up a little bit. Because it kind of feels like they struggle. I don't know if it's with commitment or what exactly it is, but it does definitely feel like there are certain ways in which they lack what it is that you need because of choices that they've made for their own life, or of unwillingness to grow in some type of way. And I feel like what makes this connection so difficult for you is the ways in which they make you feel loved and valued and cherished are there, but then it's like they manage to do the complete opposite. And I feel like it's even harder because it brings out like these, and I said this at the very beginning, it feels like it brings up these deeper wounds, maybe like abandonment wounds or betrayal wounds of some sort that like have existed there. It feels like this person really mirrors that wounding back to you as well. So I definitely feel like there are a lot of things about this connection that really draw you toward it, but then there are a lot of things about this connection that are very triggering, that are very painful, and that light and that dark contrast that I feel like exists in between this connection, I feel like has to do with the kind of the nature of the connection and what this person like mirrors within you. So there's a lot to this. I feel like this is very complicated on so many levels. But I also at the same time feel like one of the things that also makes it really hard for you is you have because you have such strong feelings for this person, I feel like there might be a little bit of like blinded a little bit, like blinded by the light to a certain extent, like blinded by the good that they do bring out. But then like on the flip side, you have been put through a lot in this connection, kind of that Ten of Swords energy here. So I feel like, there is a reason that we meet every person in our life, for sure. But sometimes people hold a deeper purpose when it comes to like our spiritual or our healing journey, because they awaken certain things in us. And sometimes what that means is they bring some of the things that have been buried like to the light, some ways, some wounding and some insecurities and some triggers that we are needing to face and see. And I definitely feel like this person has a tendency to do that for you, for sure. All right, this person's energy toward you, Libra. The 8 of Swords. The Fool. The 10 of Wands. Oof. The 9 of Pentacles. So that's a match right there. Okay. The Knight of Swords, the Queen of Cups in reverse, and the Tower. It's one. Well, I feel like the Tower is underneath this. Okay. Queen of Cups in reverse. All right. This person, I mean, you and this person have like matching desires here. It's almost like you also hold things in this connection that they deeply desire. And that's very obvious with this dream come true energy. I feel like this person sees you as somebody who is very valuable, very kind, compassionate, caring. But at the same time, I feel like this person has a lot of other things going on within them that like clashes with the energy that you bring to the table. So what I mean by that, and it's very obvious, like the 8 of Swords, the Fool, and the 10 of Wands. This 8 of Swords is like trapped in a prison of their own making. It's when somebody desires something or desires change or desires some sort of like, say in this specific instance, like some sort of like deeper connection, or to be able to have what it is that you give and bring to the table like consistently. There is a desire for that, right? But yet at the same time, it feels like there are certain things that they're carrying that block them from being able to receive, and not just receive, but reciprocate what it is that you bring to the table. And, a lot of times what I see when I see this energy, especially paired with the 10 of Wands, it's coming from this place of like having a lot of baggage from their past, starting in childhood, maybe, other relationships, and using that baggage as a way to almost like convince themselves that they can't have what it is that they desire. So that's where you start to see certain qualities of like a runner come to the surface. When somebody is carrying a lot of things that they've never really dealt with, a lot of wounds, trauma, just things that have kept them from being able to experience the love that they do truly deserve and desire. And then you come here, you have this I am their light. They see you as somebody who, I feel like, again, brings a lot of that wonderful energy to the table. And I feel like they immediately feel almost like overwhelmed by that, because to them, any kind of promise or hope of like love or, getting to experience that in a deep level, it equals pain for them. They expect things to fall apart with this Tower here. And so since they expect things to fall apart, they do certain things that ultimately lead to that expectation. So you see self-sabotage in that way, pushing it away, running, whatever the case might be. So I definitely feel like what you're seeing on the surface, you're seeing this person's inconsistent behavior, you're seeing them, running from this connection, pushing you away, things like that. And I feel like your immediate reaction to that is like, why the hell are they doing these things to me? Like, why won't they choose me? Why am I not enough for them? But it's more than that, because again, there is such deep mirroring in this connection that for both of you, the ways in which this connection exists like in each other's lives, it brings out your like deepest wounds and deepest insecurities, things that are unhealed. So if on one side, like you might be trying to face these things, to heal them, to address them, but it feels like this person is running from them. They're not wanting to face them, to heal them, and to address them. Now, they're maybe not doing this consciously. Remember, 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions stem from our subconscious. Only 5% of the way that we interact with our reality is conscious level decision making, meaning that the majority of what we do, the decisions that we make, how we interact with other people, it's coming from emotional reactions. Unless we have done a level of healing where we are able to have like a conscious hold or like hang of our triggers and our insecurities and our fears and all of those things, we are going to react to them. And that's very obvious with the Queen of Cups in reverse. I feel like this person is very reactive. So you come into this connection with all of this wonderful energy to give this person, and this person essentially immediately just goes, this isn't possible for me to have it. And you're going, yes, it is. Here, I want to give it to you. And this person is going, no, you don't understand. Based on what I've experienced in the past, there's no way this is ever going to work out. There's no way that I can actually have this. And because the feelings are so deep and because the emotions are so strong, I'm so afraid of what that could mean in the negative sense that instead of actually giving this a chance or like making this happen or whatever the case is, my immediate reaction is I'm going to run from my fears. I'm going to run from my insecurities. I'm going to push you away. Now, again, not necessarily consciously, right? But then I feel like on the flip side, what that pushes you to do is that brings your fears, your insecurities to the surface. And it starts to address, or it starts to push you to address certain wounding that I feel like this person brings up in you. And that's where you start to get that typical twin flame dynamic, where you start to see, because I hate that label because I feel like it's so overused and so many people are mislabeling their connections, but that's beside the point. Twin flame, call it deeply mirrored connection, spiritual, connection with a spiritual purpose, whatever kind of resonates with you. That's when you meet, and the purpose of these connections is not always romantic and it's not always union. So keep that in mind too. The purpose is to help you heal, is to help you grow. But the problem is that when we see ourselves in somebody else, because a lot of times when certain people bring out our wounding, we also see and can relate to and empathize with their wounding. So part of us is going, well, I see that you've been hurt in the past, or I see that you've struggled to experience love in the past, and I have all this love to give you. I want to show you what love is. I want to show you that you can be loved. You can experience all of these wonderful, wonderful things that you desire. I am your light. I want to show you these things. I want to help you heal. I want to be these things for you. And though that's a beautiful sentiment, and I think that yes, in all reality, our romantic partners or whatever are supposed to lift us up and help us on our own paths and on our healing journey, right? My husband does that for me all the time, and I do it for him. You can ask him. I know that he'll say the same. But the difference between connections where both parties are working to grow, heal, evolve, and address these things is that, well, both parties are working toward it. In this connection, you have somebody who's running from it, but then you have you who's trying to push them to face these things so that they can show up in the way that you need and that you deserve. And that's where the wounding starts to get triggered, is you are giving them all of this love and all of this care and all this attention, all of these wonderful things, and they're not changing. They're not doing anything different. They're staying inconsistent. They're still pushing you away. They're running from this connection, and it's leaving you going, what the hell? Because I said that this, you both see that this is something very deep. They see you as a dream come true. So it has nothing to do with your value. It has nothing to do with how much you give. It has nothing to do with you really at all. It has to do with this person's lack of healing. Now, what we have to understand, and one of the best things that I've ever learned, is we have to let people be who they are, let people be where they're at, and we have to adjust accordingly. So if somebody isn't capable of being what you need them to be because they haven't healed, grown, or evolved in the way that you need them to, instead of trying to get them to heal, grow, and evolve, you have to figure out what capacity that connection is going to be best for you so that you can protect your worth and your value. Because it is not your job to heal, fix, or change other people, even if you believe they are your twin flame. Even if you believe they are your person, your soulmate, whatever the case might be, it is not your job to fix, heal, or change anybody else. And if you are in a position where you are forcing somebody to change so that you can be loved in the way that you deserve and desire, you might be finding yourself stuck in this loop of trying to get somebody to change and being disappointed when they don't, disappointed and hurt when they don't. Now, the one thing that I do want to mention, and I kind of go on this tangent a lot when I bring up the concept of twin flames, is that I have a bone to pick with the whole just kind of concept in general, and specifically the ways in which a lot of people talk about and address it in today's spirituality. Because a lot of people have a tendency to really glorify this codependent notion that your healing and your job on this earth is to heal this person, and that their healing and their job on this earth is to heal so that they can be with you. And that right there, as soon as you start to look at things from that perspective, you start to essentially give all of your power away. And you say, I can't be loved, I can't be happy, and I can't have what it is that I desire and I need unless you XYZ. And right there, in that moment, you are saying, everything, my ability to be happy is up to you. And that's never true. Your ability to be happy is never up to anybody else. It is always up to you. And you are not here to experience love only when somebody else decides that you are deserving of it, worthy of it, whatever the case might be. So there might be a perspective shift that's needed here to take a step back and look at the purpose of this from a little bit of a different perspective. It doesn't mean that you can't have the love that you deserve and desire. It might mean that there's some wounding that's driving you to somebody who mirrors that back at you. And I feel like addressing those core wounds is going to be what helps you set yourself free from this painful cycle that you're in and opens you up to attracting the love that you do truly, truly deserve. Because there is a reason that this connection has been so painful. There's a reason that this has triggered these deeper wounds. There's a reason that you met this person, but that reason might not be what you think. It might not be union. And I'm not saying it can't be, but if there ever is a union in a twin flame journey, you have to get to a point of indifference. You get to a point where you say, I don't care if it's you, because I know that I'm going to get the love that I'm deserving of, whether it comes from you or not. And that either is you're going to heal, you're going to move on, you're going to get to that place of indifference, and then the person that you want to be with, sure, they come back, everything works out, fantastic. Or you move on and you find someone who is capable of meeting you where you're at. Either way, it's a win-win. But the goal of this is not union. The goal of this is not to get this person to heal. The goal of this is not to get them to see that you're worthy of it. The goal of this is to get you to heal so that you recognize that you're so worthy of love that if this person never is able to give it to you, that you don't care because you know you're going to find it. You know you're going to find it where you're meant to find it. That's the goal of these types of connections. But it's hard because, again, they bring out these wonderful, wonderful feelings in you, and sometimes they're stronger than any feelings you've ever had before. I get it. I've been there. I thought that someone that I met well before I met my husband was my twin flame, and I was so certain that this person, that I was supposed to be with them forever. And I used to be a twin flame reader. I spent a lot of time dealing with that concept. And I'm not going to lie, that journey taught me a lot. The level of growth that I went through, the level of healing that I went through, I still believe that person played a very, very important role in my life. Maybe they were my twin flame. I don't know. But what I do know is that I was never meant to it was never about that person loving me. It was about me loving me so that when I did meet the person that I was meant to be with, I knew how to accept that love and to give it back in the same way. And I feel like this is definitely one of those connections that is pushing you to love yourself so incredibly deep, because a lot of times what this can do is it can make you love the other person more than you love yourself. And that's where you start to get in trouble, because you have to love yourself just as much as you love others. It is not about, screw other people. It's only about you. Like, that's not what I'm saying. It's about, loving other people without harming yourself, but also loving yourself without harming others, but also loving others without harming yourself. And if loving somebody else puts you through a lot of harm, there is something there that the universe is asking you to address, because you do deserve more than that. But sometimes that label of like twin flame, soulmate, my person, sometimes that can keep you really, really trapped in cycles where you continue to put up with a lot of hurt out of this hope that somebody's going to change and grow and evolve and finally be what you want them to be. But what if they never did? Are you going to find yourself stuck in this belief that you can't have the love that you deserve and desire? Because that's not fair to you. And you can have it. You absolutely can have it. I promise you. All right. In between this connection, you have mirroring and love. I have a feeling we're going to get really deep in the extended. So any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Libra, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. Bye, Libra.